Hello everybody and welcome back to SaveEarth.us and artofdino.com, and I've got an interesting one today that again is all theory, and it's got some interesting keywords and numbers involved as well, and the theory of mine is also very interesting and brutal, and it kind of gives it away on this ridiculous article bragging about the biggest gun on earth. It's ours. Look at it. It can destroy a building from 14 miles away. Absolutely ravage an ancient building. From the Omaha Daily Bee, December 5th, 1915. That is where this was found, but it was also in a bunch of newspapers from around that time. So you can find articles like this with different writings and even the same writing in many articles. And this is one of those as an example. How our big canal will be protected. And I'll read some of the sections that I found to be very interesting, but above all, I wonder, because these were not the first of these massive guns they had. This one that was 16 inches, one that was 12 inches, and I'll explain some of the details of those in this video, but they must have had more of these. If you don't just make one of something like this. And was this the way that they destroyed cities like San Francisco or others? Remarkable picture of the new monster 16-inch coast defense gun and its crew. Photo taken at the testing grounds of Sandy Hook. The first of the new coast defense monsters arrives in New York Harbor and is being tried out to see if the giant will do all that is expected of it. And I wonder if they did something like this to the West Coast as well in the earlier days. And this could be a good way to destroy everything. And when you see those buildings, you know that fire didn't destroy those ancient buildings. Something much bigger did. The monster gun here described was built by the War Department at Watervliet, New York. Thence it was sent a while ago to Sandy Hook. From Sandy Hook it was recently shipped back to Watervliet in order that it might receive some minor alterations and improvements, particularly in respect to the firing mechanism. So they had some blunders here. I'm not sure what the testing of this was or how it was. And again, was this left over from an ancient past, an ancient civilization that knew how to do this? And these guys just kind of copied it or stole it or borrowed it or Freemasoned it? That its firing load, this is also interesting and was written several times. Its firing load of smokeless powder, 666.5 pounds, is equivalent in energy developed to 1,225 pounds of ordinary black powder. One can easily imagine what 18 such guns could do for the defense of New York, or 10 of them for that of San Francisco against a hostile fleet or against an ancient civilization, especially in view of the fact that, as reckoned by experts, one gun on land is equal to 6 on ships, caliber for caliber, owing to better protection and steadiness of platform. Sounds like they've tested this all out for a long time, and then they release it to the public, kind of like what they do nowadays. They have technology for decades and generations, and then they let us in on the nonsense. The 12-inch gun throws a 1,000-pound shell 13 miles. The projectile discharged by the 16-inch gun weighs 2,400 pounds and is thrown 21 miles. This could be fired from any of the hills around San Francisco or any of the ships. And again, the firing charge of the 12-inch gun is 520 pounds of smokeless powder. For the 16-inch gun, it is 666.5 pounds. What are the chances of that? How sinister and sick are these people, and how long have they worshipped that ridiculously stupid number? And this is the size of a charge of powder and shell for the new gun compared to a man. Seems kind of like another thing made by giants, perhaps? Or made by, again, someone else, like our giant doors, like our giant buildings that don't make sense. How is this supposed to help in a war when it would probably take forever to reload it? A projectile shot from the new 16-inch gun at Sandy Hook could shatter the largest building in New York City 14 miles away, and likewise could destroy the largest battleships in the fleet of an invading enemy. And I think this kind of lets the cat out of the bag here, because these buildings in all of these cities, Galveston, Boston, all coastal cities, and many others, Florida, all different places, I'm sure Virginia, all over the place, when there were fires everywhere, they were doing stuff like this, or they could have very well been doing stuff like this and blaming it on fire. Oh, we didn't have 20 giant monster guns in the distance blowing your entire city up. We had, that fire was started by a candle and a cow kicked over a kerosene lamp, and your entire city burned down. Yeah, Sure. Look at the way they drew that exploded building. It's almost like they took a picture of it because they didn't have Photoshop back then. And that is an interesting, I don't know if it's an illustration or a photo, but it looks kind of like a photo. And again, who knows? This is all theory. You can obviously manipulate everything in every form and probably have always been able to do so. I just wanted to put this out there because of the accented highlighted words, the magic number of 666, and all these other things. It seems like a lot of different coincidences all in one article and leading up to this, where they are just clearly blowing up an ancient, beautiful building of the old world, which was their modus operandi. That's probably, to be honest, what that gun was made for, if these people did it, which I don't think they did. But who knows? The answers are out there. I don't have them. I only have speculation. And I'd like to hear what you all think outside, so leave a message in the comments and check out artofdino.com, saveearth.us. Check it all out, support it if you can, and join forces. But let's hear what you have to think. I'd love to hear it. Bless you all.